What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Let me take this time to thank everyone for rocking with me, for subscribing to the channel, and for watching the videos, watching my content, and supporting my content. Everyone who leaves a like, leaves a comment, and has subscribed to the channel or has watched the channel at any given time, I appreciate you all. And of course, special shout out to my members. Always appreciate you. People have asked me just last night on my live, actually, to do a few street stories. I'm not sure if they was talking about what I have in mind here, but they could be talking about other stuff, other people, other legends, and I'm gonna get into some of that as well, actually. But for right now, I'm gonna get into an incident that I was personally involved in with the Denver Lanes. Yes, sir, the Denver Lane Bloods, and this transpired back in 1986 on the street. Now, I had not moved into the Hoovers for that long at this time. I moved over there on 110th in Vermont in 1986 in a place we called the One Way, where all of the Hoovers hung out at this juncture. I was 12 years old, but I was being laced up pretty fast with the street life. I had already been shot. And the homies were telling me, I already got put on Hoover, and the homies were telling me where to hang out at and where not to be caught at. Now over there in the hundreds, it's surrounded by opposition. The Hoovers are surrounded by opposition down there. The 11 Deuce Hoovers and the 107s surrounded. So they telling me, don't be over here, don't cross this street over there. Again, I'm 12 years old. By now, I've been banging a set for about 6 months. I'm still a big guy for my age, pretty damn big. So a lot of people not understanding that I am indeed 12 years old. It doesn't matter anyway, they don't care, because I'm out here gang banging. So if you're gang banging, you're gang banging. Whatever age you are, this is how the streets are. Particularly at this time. Again, we're talking about 1986. And over there on Imperial in Vermont, across the street, it's really Denver Lane territory. But sometimes the Hoovers will find themselves over there because we're so close by. We're so close to one another. We'll find ourselves over there in the 11 Trade Block hood. We'll find ourselves in Denver Lane hood. And we'll find ourselves fighting for this vicinity, saying that this is our turf. This part is ours. This part is yours, if anything. But we're going to take this over. So sometimes, though we're not really supposed to cross a certain block or a certain street, we'll still do it. Just to oppose the rules and say we can do whatever it is that we want. Now, the Hoovers and the Denver Lanes are enemies, are opposition. Denver Lanes are Bloods, the Hoovers are Crips / criminals, depending on who you ask, I guess. And these two gangs have not gotten along pretty much ever. And there's been a war going on for decades between the two. At this time, it was no different. The war was still fresh and early on, and therefore very violent. And the homies had told me not to cross this damn street. Don't get caught over there. But, well, I had a hard time listening. And I was defiant. And one night, I crossed Imperial. And I was over there by the gas station on Imperial in Vermont. And I was coming back across the street. And it was a group of dudes right there. Maybe about 6 of them. And you can tell, I could tell, that they were Bloods. They had on red beanies, red jackets, all kind of shit. I knew that they were Denver Lanes. But they were like across the street, so I just kept walking. I'm just trying to cross the street, get over to my side of Vermont. And they looked over there and they saw me. Again, I was not as big as I am now, but I was still a big dude. And so I'm sure they thinking, well, we got one. And when they crossed the street, because when they spotted me, they start crossing the street. I start about to try to cross the street and run, basically get the hell out of there. But there was too many cars coming up and down. I couldn't even get up. I was stuck. I wasn't finna just take off running. You know what I mean? So I just stood right there. And they crossed the street, and they walking fast. All 6 of them. And I'm saying, man, golly, this is not finna turn out well. I know it. And I tried to use my age when they came and they got in my face, and I later found out who they were. I'm not gonna mention them now. I found out who a couple of them were. I know their names. And one of them, right, he came at me. He's like, what's up, bro? Denver Lane Blood, where you from? Right, he said, where you from? I'm like, bro, I'm 12 years old. That's what I told him. I'm like, man, I'm 12 years old. Like, bro, where you from? Where you from? You know, I don't give a fuck, but damn all that. Where you from? You look like you bang. Where you stay at, bro? I'm like, shit, man, I stay over there. I pointed right over there, basically towards the one way, towards the Hoovers. What the hell was I thinking? I might as well just told him I was from Hoover if I'm gonna do that. So I point over there. And when I point over there, he's swinging on me. Bam! Right? So I'm thinking, okay, it's all bad now. They all finna rush me. I gotta just try to swing back and try to clock him and then run. So I swung back on him. Boom. Then I turn around to break. I'm finna run. I'm finna break wild. I'm out of here. Straight up. I turn around and run. One of them clipped me by the legs and get me on the ground. They beating the living hell out of me. They squabbling me down. I'm 12 years old. It doesn't matter in the gang culture. And they beating the living shit out of me. Pretty much all 6 of them. And finally, cars are coming by and the cars are honking their horns, like trying to tell these dudes, get up off of them, you know. And finally, after what seems like an hour or two, even though it was probably just a minute or two, they got up off me and ran back across the street where they had came from. And I was down on the ground for a minute. I couldn't even get up. I was leaking. My eye was already beginning to close. I can feel it swelling up, and it was watering up and swelling up. I was leaking. My mouth was busted open. I said, oh man, what the hell? I said, I'm going to get these dudes. I was hot. I was pissed. Finally, I made it to my feet after what seemed like 10 minutes or so of laying down there on the ground. And I got to my feet. I tried to run, but I couldn't. I was too injured. I was almost out of it. And so I just cautiously, slowly walked across the street. Again, mouth bleeding, and my eye by now is certainly closed. I can't even see out of my right eye. I make it back over there to the one-way. Finally, I run up a couple alleys, and I make it back to the one-way, and all the homies are hanging out. It's about 9 o'clock at night. It's dark outside. And I remember Big Spider was out there. Big Spider from 11 Deuce Hoover, my dog. And he's one of them boys. And he's the first one that seen me coming up leaking and my eye closed. And I'm running, I'm out of breath, I'm sweating, everything, blood everywhere. He's like, bro, what's up? This the bro. They all looking, all the homies like, man, what the hell? Who the hell is this? What the hell going on? And he's like, man, that's China. And all the homies run over there like, what happened? And I'm telling them, but my mouth, I can barely even talk. I'm pointing over there. I'm throwing up the B. I'm telling them, man, them dudes, man, they just packed me out. They just jumped me. Like, what? I'm like, yeah, man. They're like, oh, hell no. I'm like, yeah. And they saw me all fucked up. And I can see the homies was hot. Spider was upset. So Spider directed one of the young homies to come with me, to go on a mission, to get a little retribution. Now they told me to kick back and stay here, that I was injured and not to go on a mission. Not to go right now, I can go another time, but right now they was gonna go hounding. I told them, no, I know who it was. I'm gonna recognize these dudes when I see them. I gotta go. I'm going, bro. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, they just did this to me. I'm going. Now, really, this was my first one. My first mission. I had already been robbing people. I had robbed a few people, even at that age, 12 years old. But I had not really went on any missions. A little something, just as an initiation, but nothing really like this was about to transpire. And I know this already, but I'm hot and I'm gonna go along with it. And a young homie that was assigned to go on a mission with me, well, he said, well, this is what we're gonna do. He was familiar with the area. He had already went on a few missions on these same dudes. So he already knew what to do. He was well versed, even at the tender age of 18 or so. He said, we gonna park the car over here. We gonna get out. We gonna walk up this way. Boom, boom, boom. We gonna get off. Run back in the car and we back in the hood. All right, bet. He had a thing. The homies hand me one. We was in a white van. He was the driver, even though I had already been driving at that time. I'm going over the little thing I got, and I'm sitting in the van, and I am shaking just a little bit. I didn't handle weapons before, but again, this is a different type of mission. But my eyes closed, and I can't even see out of it, and my mouth is hurting. I done cleaned the blood up some, but it's still hurting, which is really angering me even more. This is how some people end up going on these missions. There's an action, then there's always a reaction. There's always a response in gang culture, which is why we just got to stop the action, and then there will not be a reaction. We have to stop the violence amongst one another, brothers. But at this time, I wasn't necessarily thinking like that. Being 12 years old, new to the gang culture, but not necessarily new to the street. Again, had already been shot myself with a 12 gauge, very close range. Already brought you that story. I bear the pellets from those wounds to this day in my left leg. 400 or so pellets are still in my left leg from the blast. And I'm sitting in there and I'm sweating a little bit. My forehead is sweating. And the homie asked me if I'm okay. I said, yeah, I'm good. Let's go hound it. Let's go take care of it. I ain't tripping. But in my young mind, I'm thinking, we just gonna let off a couple rounds, get back in his car, and come back over here, and all is well with life. Hadn't really planned out anything in particular as to how we're really gonna get away with this shit. I'm just really under the guidance of the older homie. I was 12, he was 18 or so. So I'm just following him. And again, I knew that he had already went on these missions. So we get over there, finally, what seemed like forever. But it was really just across the damn street. We get over there and we park the car where he said to park the car at. And we walked up where he said to walk up at. And I got the thing right here in my waistband. He got a jacket on and he got his thing. I got on a sweater, like a blue sweater. And I remember I had on a hat. And foolishly, this was the first mistake. I didn't change any of my clothes. I'm thinking they're not gonna recognize me, but I should have known. I'm so big, even at that age, people still gonna recognize me. And they just beat the shit out of me. They ain't gonna forget that fast. I mean, this happened quickly. I sort of skipped some of the story, but when I went back over there, they saw that I was leaking. The homies told the homie, you go with, if you gonna go there, after they tried to talk me out of going, I told them I was going. It happened pretty much immediately, pretty much right away. It's like, okay, and we jumped right in the van right then with the stuff. So all of this stuff is happening fast. And I didn't change my clothes. I still got the same stuff on. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was parking the car or the van too far away. But again, I'm listening to the homie. He said this is where he normally parks at when he does his stuff. The third mistake was, as we're walking up, heading to where the dudes were hanging out at when I first saw them, I had a feeling they would still be there. This is like really where they hang out at sometimes. Right here by this certain alley. And when we were walking up, called ourselves creeping a little bit, and I saw the same dude standing right there in the same sort of spot that they were standing in when they crossed the street and attacked me. And so the homie was like, is that them right there? I said, that's them right there, bro, that's them. He's like, all right, let's get a little closer. This was the third mistake because we were close enough really to let loose. But as we're getting a little closer, they turn around and recognize me. They see me. And they recognize me clearly. They recognize me immediately, bro. Immediately, they recognize me. For sure. Because when they turn around and see me, one of the dudes, the first one really that had attacked me, he's one of their boys. As I said, I later found out all about him. He knows all about me at this point in our life. We went back and forth with one another for some years, even after this situation. He found out who I was as well. He was one of them boys. Because he turned around and he told his boy, he like tapping him like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this the boy. And they see the homie with me. They know the homie, like I said, he didn't got off on them before. So now they know, okay, he is from Hoover. We did the right thing when we attacked him. That's how they thinking. Now he coming back. Man, that dude, he whipped out quickly. Quick draw McGraw. The dude whipped out quickly before me or my boy could whip out. He whipped out and started letting off. We broke, went behind this little wall, put our stuff out. Now they running towards us. I guess, maybe thinking we ain't got too much because we ain't did nothing yet. And we let back off and we going at it with each other. I hear bullets whizzing by my head, bro. I swear. I heard like 3 bullets. We running, but we busting back, and we hearing bullets. I'm hearing bullets whiz by my head. The homie later said there were bullets whizzing by his dome, and we getting off on one another at this point, and we take the route back that the homie at first said. We running, and I'm getting tired because I'm already still weak. My eyes closed. As I said, my mouth beat up. I'm pissed off. Now this is the first time. Now I'd have been shot by now, as I said, but I ain't had no back and forth situation, and these damn things whizzing by my dome. We make it back somehow to the van and get up out of there. The homie skirt, and we go. Right back to the hood. We go right back to the one-way, like ain't nothing happened. We went right back to the hood, got rid of the weapons, but by now, I was living on a one-way. By now, I did go back to the house and change my clothes and stayed in the house all night. But foolishly, the very next day, the next morning, I go across the street, I'm going to the store, right there by the barbecue place, the little liquor store. And as I'm walking up the alley, the police come and then they pull me over. The police pulled me over in the alley. It was some homies right up the street in another alley. But they had a view of what was going on. So the police put me over, throw me on the car. And they say, that it was a shooting over there across the street the night before. And that witnesses say it was a big dude involved. I'm like, man, I don't know. They like, where you stay at? I said, I stay right here. They say, how old are you? I said, I'm 12. They're like, oh, man, it ain't him. They said, man, you gang bang? I said, no, I don't bang, man. I don't bang. No, sir. No. They said, where you going? I said, I'm going right here to the store for my mama. I'm going right here to the store, man. My mama sent me to the store, sir. That's it. I'm going to the store to get her some juice. She wants some apple juice or something, and I'm going back home, man. They say, where exactly do you stay? I told them exactly where. I gave them the address right there in the one-way. They said, all right, man. He good. Go ahead. And they let me go. And that was it. That was the first of many situations that I found myself in when I began to gang bang. As I said, this was 6 months in to me taking the oath. But that was the first incident, the first shootout of many. These are not things that I'm proud of. These are things that I do need to get off of my chest. The situations that I've been involved in. Some of them are unbelievable. Sometimes it's unbelievable that I'm still here. But I'm not glorifying gang banging when I bring you these stories. I'm just letting you know some of the things that I've been through and why you should avoid these things. Avoid gang banging and avoid the street. I'm a 12-year-old boy attacked by 6 other grown men who didn't care that I was 12. This is the gang culture, replete with violence. Stay away from it. I'll be back. In the meantime, stay free, people.